So, you found them. Glad you made it.
Just in time. The Kamui Hopni Day is about to start.
Enjoy yourselves.
It's a ceremony, and it means the setting off of gods. So they send off the spirit of the hunted bear. It's a different ritual than an Iomante, where they send off a bear that was raised in a cage.
Oi!
Oi! Oi! Oi!
That's called an okokokse. They shout out to tell the god of fire about the bear. The Kamui are the things beyond human control. Some things help us, other things bring us disaster. Fire is a critical part of our lives, and blades slice cleanly through things we can't cut on our own, so they have Kamui in them. Trees are Kamui that sit on the mountains. Bad weather and plague are beyond human control, so they're Kamui too. But it's not that we believe these things are any greater than humanity. We think of them as equals to us. We believe that when hunting, it's not the arrows hitting our prey, it's the Kamui running into them. Meat and pelts, they ask for sake and tobacco, things that only we can make. Then we send off the Kamui with a proper ritual, in the hopes they'll tell the other Kamui the human world is a good place for them to go. If we don't treat them properly, they'll never come back to our world. After this, the bear's head will be taken to an outdoor altar decorated with inao. Inao are shaven sticks that we give to the Kamui as an offering. Over time, as it collects inao, its status in its own world grows. It's said that the inao we give it transform into silver and gold, becoming valuable treasures.
Even in the afterlife, we're driven by gold. Somehow I'd hoped we'd be better than that by then.
Will you stay here long?
Well, that's not really up to me. That's delicious.
What's she thinking? I wonder.
Ashirpa, there's something I need to tell you. I've come because I have news about Hoochie.
Hoochie.
So we're really supposed to believe that you came all the way from Otaru just to tell her that, Private Tanigaki?
Something you want to say?
How about if we don't play games? I know Sarumi sent you here just to watch me.
No, you're wrong. I'm done with the 7th, with the whole army. That old lady helped me out, so I'm here for her granddaughter. It's as simple as that.
Not sure I believe you. You were one of Sarumi's most fervent followers, and you even killed 3 men in the mountains, as I recall.
In the mountains? You're talking about the 3 he was traveling with? If so, it was a bear that killed them. I was there and I saw it, so I'm sure.
A bear?
So the old lady just had a dream where she never saw her granddaughter again? It was just a dream. You could have sent a damn letter.
We Ainu believe. Dreams are things the Kamui send when they're trying to communicate, when they have something to show us. I don't believe that now, but Hoochie is one of the old Ainu. And once, long ago, she had another dream. In this dream, her daughter was surrounded by bears. According to Hoochie, soon after that, my mother got sick and died. So that's why she always believes her dreams.
Listen, Ashirpa, do you just want to head back? If she sees your face, then surely that takes her dream out of the prophecy category, doesn't it? She'll feel better. Don't force yourself to stay.
Don't treat me like a child, Sugimoto. I can't stop. I have to keep going now. I need to find the truth, then move forward for the sake of my own dream.
Hey, Tanigaki Nishpa. I've been wondering, that Murata gun, did it belong to Tetsuzo Nihei?
How did you know Nihei?
We hunted bears together, over a decade ago. He was so good at it. I'm still amazed there were any bears left on that mountain.
He died in those mountains. He had his gun on him. I couldn't leave it.
I would have done the same thing, although it must be challenging using an old gun like that.
Back into a Matsugi. I decided to carry it so I'll never forget how to feel when I shoot my prey.
You get one shot, so do it right the first time, right? See that on the barrel? Those 7 little marks he scratched out. Nihei once told me what they meant.
I've got a lot of kids, no doubt about it, but I only ever had one son. This is the gun he carried with him during the first Sino-Japanese War. A friend of his gave it to me. He told me each mark on the stock represented an enemy my son had shot. Maybe he just stopped counting after the 7th, or maybe he died shortly after. Either way, he wasn't the type who found any joy shooting people. He was the kind that'd feel guilty after killing someone. Never should have been a soldier. He should have just stayed home and shot bears with me.
Ryu, is that you, boy?
Ryu!
Oh, wow! Look!
Okay, yeah, what's Nihei's dog doing here?
Did you bring him with you?
Actually, no.
Oh my gosh. Don't tell me. Have you been his gun?
Ryu! You're the best dog in the world! Ow! What the hell? Stop biting me! Stop biting me! Stop biting me! Stop biting me! No!
That hurt, you little shit! Get lost!
Looks like Ryu's a loyal dog. He's not quite ready to forget the enemy of his master.
Tell me, what are you gonna do now?
I'll leave when she achieves her goal, and not before.
Understood.
Ashirpa, once we're in town, I'll send Huchi a telegram.
That would be great.
Well, off to Abashiri. Ashirpa, ready to go?
Yeah.
Oh, Lieutenant Tsurumi is gonna scold me. He must have been so mad when he heard I let Yoshitaka Shiraishi get away. How did he look? Please, Sergeant, tell me the truth. Did Tsurumi say anything at all about... No! I'm done for. I'm gonna be sent straight off to Abashiri to watch Shirosuke Inu die!
Second Lieutenant, calm yourself. Look what I have for you here. I brought you the photos you asked for.
These are so wonderful, Tsukishima! This must have been taken before the Battle of Mukden. He doesn't have those scars on his face yet. I'm jealous of you, Sergeant Tsukishima.
Huh?
Sometimes I think if only I'd been born a little earlier, then maybe I could have fought with him too. This is so perfect! Tsukishima, crush up some rice to use as glue.
No.
I didn't know you were here, Second Lieutenant. Hey.
Sonohan, ohiga tomore katane shiraishi o hinigashite shimaimashita. Donni reizumi dake wa jizu ni utsuchamashita. Jotsu yurusareru ni wake janai mo handon.
Goodness, calm down. I can't make out that high-speed Satsuma dialect, so why don't you take some deep breaths and try again?
Hinigashite shimaimashita. Don shiraishi ni irezumi auski chimashita.
Slow down!
Help me! Tell him that Shiraishi did get away, but not before I made a copy of his tattoos.
He says he made a copy of Shiraishi's tattoos.
Why am I the only one who gets the high-speed Satsuma? Specifically ordered you not to kill Shiraishi because I thought he could be of great value to us. Yet you unfortunately let him fall into enemy hands. I'm very disappointed in you, Second Lieutenant. Oh, a fashion statement if I ever saw one. So that's the skin of the prisoner pretending to be Inudo. I'll admit, this is a lovely unexpected bonus. From what we've learned so far, I think it's safe to say these tattoos belong to the con artist Kiyohiro Suzukawa. Very well done, Second Lieutenant. However, the lines aren't quite right.
Sunmohan! Sunmohan! Sunmohan!
See, this is what I'm talking about, Second Lieutenant. As of now, you're off the Asahikawa mission. From now on, you're going to be personally helping me hunt the other prisoners.
Tell him that I'll do my best.
He said he'll do his best. He's thrilled. God, I hate this.
Think very carefully and tell me, are you absolutely positive it was Yakunosuke Ogata who was aboard the airship with Shiraishi and Sugimoto?
Yeah, he brings great disgrace to the noble suicide of his good father, former head of the 7th Division. Even my own father feels a very strong distrust towards the Central Command for the way they handled it. They blamed it on the 7th Division. So what could Ogata be thinking in doing this?
I believe that 2nd Lieutenant Koito's father and General Hanazawa were both born in Satsuma and that they were friends, correct? The cause of the suicide was Central Command unfairly laying the full blame for the high casualties on 203 Hill at Lieutenant General Hanazawa's feet. I, of course, took it for granted that Ogata would fight for his father's honor and for that of the 7th Division. That was my great mistake.
At the time, my father was Lieutenant Colonel in the 1st Imperial Guard Regiment. Given his position, he must have been pretty irritated to have an Asakusa geisha bear his child. Once his wife bore him a legitimate son, my grandmother told me he stopped coming to visit entirely. When I was still a baby, my grandmother took my mother and me back to her home in Ibaraki. My mother used to make monkfish stew. Fugu in the west and monkfish in the east, they'd say. It was a local dish for the lower classes. I liked it and ate it a lot. And every day in winter, my mother would get up and make more. Every afternoon, a new batch of monkfish stew. My father said he liked it, so she'd keep making it, hoping he'd come back and eat some with her. Every day without fail. She'd gone crazy at this point, I think. One day, I took an old gun of my grandfather's out to the field, and I shot a bird. I thought maybe if I brought it home, my mother wouldn't make that damn stew. But no matter how many birds I hunted, she refused to stop making it. I couldn't take it anymore. When my grandparents were gone, I put rat poison in a monkfish stew and fed it to her. I figured if my father had any love left for my mother, he would come to the funeral. And one more time, she'd be with the man she loved. Wouldn't you know? You never came.
Are you trying to tell me that this is revenge for taking off on you? It was put your insane mother out of her misery. You were sick of her too. You're no different than me.
Unfortunately, children don't get to choose their parents. Love is as vague and indefinable a concept as God. But I think that if you did have any love for my mother, you wouldn't have abandoned her. I've wondered if maybe a child born to parents who don't love each other comes out missing something. No matter how impressive his father's bloodline might be. If you want proof, just look at your other child, the true son your wife gave you, 2nd Lieutenant Yusaku Hanazawa, a nobleman. We met after I joined the military, and I didn't know how to react. He insisted on calling me Big Brother, showing me deference, no matter how many times I told him he outranked me. He never left me alone. Said his entire life he'd wished he had a brother. That innocent smile. Oh, looking at it, I realized that this was a boy who'd grown up feeling safe and loved by his parents. But with all that love between them, his father had no way of knowing the truth about his death. How his precious son really died at 203 Hill. I shot him in the back of the head. Not out of jealousy or malice of any kind, or a desire to make our father suffer because of his death. It was more of an experiment, I guess. When he heard about Yusaku's death, would our father think of me, his other son? Would he suddenly care about the child he'd had with his mistress and abandoned all those years ago? Was there a chance I could have been happy too if things had turned out differently?
Well, you got one thing right. You're missing something important deep in your core. You're a failure of a son. A curse upon you!
Don't worry, it's all ability for his suicide. It'll be a difficult time for us, but you're strong and you'll endure. With an external enemy, I believe that the 7th will come together like never before. In fact, I predict that they'll very much want to make the only surviving son of Lieutenant General Hanazawa into a hero. I think they'll see and use something of the god of war they lost. So well done, Hyakunosuke Ogata. Very well done indeed, sir.
Goddamn seducer.